You're welcome once again. Before we start this conversation, I encourage you to please to share the link with your colleagues. We're starting in the next few minutes. Our panelist is already online. Awesome. So, Doctor there? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, once again. It's
Are you
good to see
referring
you.
to me? I'm here.
Doctor, I just wanted to remind you that I will request at a certain point for you to say something on behalf of APRA.
That'll be fine.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, once again, you're welcome to this conversation, the Pure Fundi Masterclass conversation, which is a monthly conversation that we have with APRA. Dr. Chi, are you there? I think he was online, but I do not see him now.
I'm here.
Our panelist, I mean the panelist.
Oh, you're talking of Dr. Achi.
Achi, yeah.
Okay, I'm not so sure. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, but he came online not too long ago.
Yeah, he was here. Okay, I think the team, Veronica, if you can try to reach out to him. We're about to start. Members, you're welcome to this monthly class. Many thanks to APRA for making sure this happens. And also many thanks to Node Group, a PR marketing agency that is in partnership with APRA in making sure that we organize such platforms to discuss critical subjects in the PR profession. Thank you, Dr. Omunyi, for being here. We appreciate the work you're doing in this industry. We don't take it for granted, sir. So I see we have a number of PR professionals that have already joined. As soon as we get the 40th person, we start. We are 39. I'm sure many people are joining us along the way, but we could start, they would find us because it's a 2 hours engagement. Dr. Celestine is also back. Awesome.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. We are ready if you're ready. I was telling the participants that we are lucky to have you here, sir, to discuss today's topic. And thank you for making time to be here to have this conversation with Africa. Africa needs these conversations so that we forge the way forward. Okay, I think we could start. I see we have 41 people already. So members, you're welcome. Once again, I would like to welcome you to this PR Fundi Masterclass. These classes are organized by APRA. APRA is a body that brings us together in Africa as PR professionals. And we are lucky to have the head administration of APRA, but also have the General Secretary or Secretary General of APRA, Dr. Moni, who is here. They will give us a brief on why these classes are important. We also appreciate Node Group, which is a PR marketing agency that makes sure that these classes happen on a monthly basis. Thank you, Dr. Celestine, for allowing to come as a panelist.
Thank you.
For this conversation. Today, we're going to discuss when speed is the enemy of truth, a case of AI-powered crisis and risk management for African communicators. Maybe before we do that, let me take just 2 minutes to introduce who Dr. Celestine is. He's a powerhouse in our industry. Dr. Celestine is a foremost AI educator, celebrated AI educator, governance consultant, the founder and the CEO of Sihan Media Communications. He has over 3 decades of experience shaping the digital landscape in Africa. He's the founder and the brains behind the Nigeria's first AI-powered PR suite. And in my conversation with him earlier, he said that after this conversation, every PR professional in Africa should be ready to have their own PR suite by tomorrow that is AI-powered. And this is, for me, going to be a learning opportunity. I hope you're ready to learn, to unlearn. He's also the author of Definitive 537-page playbook, AI-powered PR, and is the creator of Vox Shield, Africa's complete AI-powered defense platform for reputation management. He's recognized globally, not only in Africa, as one of the top 25 applied AI trainers. Dr. Celestine doesn't just consult on the future of technology, he builds it, and we're going to see how he has been able to do that. From co-leading Nigeria's national broadband plan to creating civic AI agents for the government of Nigeria, his work has been able to bridge the gap between emerging technology and institutional trust. Dr. Celestine today is a mission is on a mission to empower over 100,000 Africans with AI literacy and ensure that the continent leads in the era of artificial intelligence. You're welcome, sir. It's good to have you here. This is a huge profile.
Yeah, thank you.
We are lucky really to have you on this platform, and thank you for allowing to come and have a discussion with peer professionals in Africa. So we're excited. So members, you're welcome. And I think before we dive into our discussion, after that introductory moment, we need to give just a few minutes, 2 minutes to Dr. Omonyi, who is also our mentor in so many ways, the Secretary General of APRA, and he's a brain behind so many things that I can't explain here, but he has been around for quite some time, and he has contributed significantly to the PR industry. Dr. Omonyi, you're welcome. Please give us a few remarks before we dive into the discussion today.
Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Ian, I want to thank you very sincerely for being very consistent on this particular partnership with APRA. We haven't missed any edition, and that's quite reassuring given the trouble environment that we have found ourselves battling for attention, okay, and struggling. But I should thank you more for bringing Dr. Archie here.
Exactly.
It's a treasure, I mean, to us, particularly in the Nigerian space. But you know, because we are brothers, we are glad and delighted to share him, not just with East Africans, but with all Africans and to the world at large.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he's found the time to be here. I'm not going to talk much other than to just appreciate every other person on this call, beginning with Veronica, the CEO, the CAO of APRA, who has been open. We have been in several points today, and I was not even expecting her to log on so quickly, which was why I was surprised when she greeted me. I want to thank everybody who is on this call and to say that the time you are devoting to this engagement will not be wasted by the time we are done. There have been issues concerning whether Africa should embrace AI. You know the way we think about what colonialism has done to us and how at a point people began to feel that we are again being programmed to embrace something from the West. But the West no longer exists in isolation from the rest of the world. That's the way Africa no longer exists. Globalization has become a central, theme of our existence. So that argument is gone now. The point is, how do we lock into the process and ensure that Africa reaps all derivable benefits of artificial intelligence and all its offshoots? Just 24 hours ago or 48 hours ago, I read about Kenya deferring a particular program of data center that will have cost millions of dollars because of its implication on the energy supply in Kenya. So when we talk about AI, we need to be able to look at this in totality. In embracing AI, what do we need to do in terms of the infrastructure that will enable us to derive all the benefits? So it's a multi-dimensional topic, and you have brought here, Ian, somebody who would deal with all the dimensions.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to take much of his time. I would just want to round up by saying, I welcome you once again. I welcome Dr. Archie. More importantly, you know the audience is more central in messaging. I welcome every other person on this call who have joined to be part of this conversation. the president of APRA, Mr. Rick
Yes.
Karani, and the executive council. I bring you warm greetings and wish all of us there a fruitful deliberation today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Moni, and thank you for the support and the work that you're doing to shape communications in Africa and position ourselves. I mean, with your committee and secretariat led by Veronica, they're doing a very good job, excellent job. We appreciate it. So participants, as you heard from APRA team itself, led by Dr. Moni, I think there's no doubt that AI is here to stay, and how we are prepared to handle and also to position ourselves and benefit from this AI-empowered environment is upon us, and that's why we organize such platforms really to have a discussion. Without a doubt that today's topic is critical to everything that we do as PR professionals, and we are lucky that we have someone who is fit to discuss some of these details. I was discussing with a colleague and I realized that we are not prepared at all. Most of us as individuals, as organizations, we are under threat that we do not know how to handle, how to prepare for, especially with the whole AI amplified environment that we are in. So such conversation then will help us know how to prepare and how to position ourselves to see how we can either leverage on the opportunities AI is bringing to us or manage the reputational threats that comes with it. And that's why we organized this and also invited one of those professionals in Africa, celebrated globally, to have this conversation. And Dr. Celestine, the floor is yours. I mean, take us away. We are ready to learn and learn as well. In the middle, we can have some conversations, but this moment is yours. Later on, we'll ask the audience also to ask you a few questions, but the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Moni, and thank you, sir. And good evening, everyone on the call. I'm hoping, number one, that this session will be immersive and a little bit interactive. In other words, we'll be having a combination of a little theory and more of hands-on.
Yeah.
Do I hope that we achieve this evening? By the end of this session, my expectation, I don't know what your expectations are, but my expectation is that every person in this room will have a crisis intelligence project running for their own different organizations, a crisis intelligence project that is AI powered and AI enabled. A live intelligence dashboard pulling real country data, whether you are in South Africa, whether you are in Nairobi, whether you are in Uganda, whether you are in Lagos State or Abuja or what have you. This evening, it is also expected that you will have a live intelligence dashboard pulling real life data without you really, what will I call it, without you really subscribing to any media monitoring tool. AI has changed the face, the PR landscape, as we know. I've also done us a favor of curating about 16 AI media intelligence prompts that can change how we practice from tomorrow morning. But let us begin with a live case that happened here in Nigeria on May 1. That is about 6 days ago. Let's look at, I'm sure we can see the screen. This is the story of of Money Point Group. Money Point is one of the banks we have here in Nigeria. Of course, their CEO has been invited by the platform to come and speak. Of course, while he was speaking, he made some remarks that, of course, I mean, both the brand and the CEO are having a serious backlash on. And this is in real time. And the fact is that the virality is not stopping anytime soon. Now, the dashboard you see before you resonates with the topic of the day. When speed is the enemy of truth. When speed is the enemy of truth. Now, when this kind of crisis happens, of course, the crisis response team will probably gather together and begin to strategize and what have you. But while this is going on, the algorithms are already amplifying the issue, and the issue is turning to a crisis that we may not be able to manage. And while the algorithm is amplifying these issues, AI engines are already crafting the narratives that may not likely be in favor of your brand. But let's look at Main One Money Point Group as a case study. Like I said, this is an AI-powered dashboard powered by the core system. Now, you could see, I will go away from the normal metrics, the total mentions, as you can see, within the few days. This only covers the conversation around the CEO comment about talent gap in Nigeria. And we could see that this conversation alone, apart from the total mentions, has a virality reach of 18.7 million. And of course, it's on the increase. But that is not even the point here. When you look at the share velocity, the share velocity is out of the world. I mean, at 12.4K per hour. That is the share velocity. That shows you exactly how that social has come to reshape crisis management or reputation management, as the case may have it. And the topic cannot even be more timely than it is. Just look at the timeline. I decided to do a 14-day crisis timeline. Okay, the initial statement triggers viral, which cascade across Nigerian Twitter and moved on to the social. It moved on to WhatsApp, it moved on to Telegram, and the rest. Then, of course, the defenders emerged, but the defenders were not even stopping whatever was going on in terms of the crisis. Now, look at the implication of that single statement made by the CEO of Moneypoint Group. 500 plus customers account closed. This is documented, not synthesis. Over 500 youths, especially Gen Zs, who formed a major part of Moneypoint Group audience, closed the account within the space of 24 hours. Employer brand equity, the brand equity of Moneypoint Group that was doing quite well, dropped by 34% within 24 hours. WhatsApp amplification that I call social because it's meant to be encrypted, by the way. WhatsApp amplification was estimated to drive the share velocity by 3.2 times. Of course, and we have the reality star FINA reaction that also garnered about 2.1 million impressions within 24 hours. These are real consequences of a statement that, well, is debatable, of a statement that is coming from a CEO seen as the face of the brand. But then, for you to really not be the enemy of speed, you also have to capture whatever is happening in real time. And you could see, if you move down to the quantitative metrics, you will see how the platforms performed cross-board. What WhatsApp and Telegram, just accounted for 96,000 variety share. The fact is that in terms of amplification, in terms of influence, in terms of behavior outcome, they surpassed every other social media platforms. And gone are the days where we only sentiment analysis. Yes, it's good to capture sentiment analysis. You know what is positive, what is negative, what is neutral. But beyond what is negative and what is neutral, we all know that the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas that form a majority of our clientele or of our audience, or of our demography, you will see that the way they speak, the way they converse, the way they engage is changing. And therefore, I have often talked about, the disruption that is happening, the disruption of media demography. And this is a classical example of that fact. And we could see that by the time we go down to exactly how they feel, you will see that 42% of that audience are still very angry. 28% of them are quite disappointed, and 80% of them express sarcasm. While just 8% of a brand that was doing so well 6 days ago, only 8% have sympathy for the brand. And validation dropped from a whopping 82% to just 4% within 5 days. And I can go on and on. But this shows you exactly why why speed at times can be the enemy of truth, and what we need to do in order to manage this kind of situation. So we begin with 5 cases that happened in Nigeria. One, in fact, broke 48 hours ago. Probably we start with the, please, let's start with the presentation so that I can show you exactly these cases and how they relate to the topic at hand. Can you share the screen? Can you share the PowerPoint? The first one we had was the UBA fire that happened at Afriland D Towers. I mean, most of us know it. There's also a real-time dashboard showing exactly how speed is the enemy of truth. How speed is the enemy of truth. 10 persons died in that particular UBA fire outbreak. Statement said that staff were safe and well before deaths were confirmed. Please note this. The statement released by the UBA corporate communications team said that staff were safe and well before deaths were confirmed. In fact, Tony Lumelu publicly rebuked his own communications team the next day. And of course, there is a live crisis dashboard at ubareport.aipowerpr.com that we all can go to and see exactly how that dashboard in real time showed exactly what is happening, how algorithms were amplifying the issue, and how AI was crafting its own narrative. The dashboard existed, but the playbook did not exist because the dashboard was just me doing what I know how to do best. In other words, speed without intelligence is not response. Speed without intelligence is not response and can never be response. It is simply an exposure. So when you are in such a hurry to defend, to protect without verifying, okay, and without capturing the essence of what is happening in real time, you have speed, yes, but without intelligence could be another bigger crisis. It's simply an exposure. Let's talk about Elumelu and Dangote. This happened just 48 hours, or between 48 to 72 hours ago, just within the last 2 days. I mean, there was a false divorce claim. This was exactly on 3rd of May, yes. There was a fake divorce claim about Elumelu, which seeded on 2 or 3 blogger pages, mostly on TikTok. It's seeded from TikTok. As we know, TikTok has become the most dominant social media platform in Africa. I mean, from the We Are Social 2026 report. And the same day, 3 of these bloggers were arrested. But on the same day, Dangote Group denied a fabricated rift with Elumelu. As we know, Elumelu owns UBA. Two of Africa's most prominent billionaires were targeted. This was a coordinated disinformation, a simultaneous attack on the two big brands we have in Africa. The pattern was visible, but no one, sadly enough, was watching. The pattern, again, I said, was detectable, but the infrastructure was not the third one, which happened in 2025. And this is, of course, we all know Ibukun Awosika. Is a deepfake, an AI-generated video of she was the former First Bank chairperson. And there's a deepfake of her promoting a fraudulent investment platform that went viral. 3 raw materials were used to make this happen. Our voice was cloned using exactly 11labs.io. Our face was cloned using exactly hedging.io.com. And our credibility was again the raw material that was used as a converge factor to make this viral disinformation happen without her knowledge, while she was asleep, without a consent. Now, this is the irony. 2.1 million views within 14 hours. But our denial up till today, as we speak, has only reached 340 unique individuals, while the deepfake has reached 2.1 million unique individuals. In other words, the earlier we understand that synthetic media is now a reputational weapon, the better we begin to understand the game. So synthetic media on its own has now become a reputational weapon. We all know about NSAS across Africa. One thing that made NSAS to be everywhere, in every phone, in every dark social, in every social media, was the power of the algorithms. A protest hashtag became a national brand crisis in hours, without giving the communication team even time to sit and plan effectively. The speed gap of reputational crisis has widened further since then. In other words, speed asymmetry has broken every single thing we know about reactive PR. In other words, reactive PR is now a dead end. Then the fifth crisis, 5 crises, 5 lessons, but one critical question we need to ask ourselves. And this is ongoing. Permit me, I won't be able to mention the name of the brand, but this talk about the ghost stakeholder in Nigeria public institutions engagement process was gained or hijacked by coordinated AI-generated proposal submissions from the same IP address. Consensus was manufactured. It was designed to influence policy outcomes. The consultation looked real, but the crowd was not human. In other words, the crowd that we have on our social media, on our social, and even online site, with even the rise of agentic AI, the crowd is no longer always human. So we have a converged audience, the human on one end and the AI-generated characters on the other end. Can you move to the next slide? I hope you are on the... Just move with me. Just move to the other slide, please. Okay. But before we delve deeper into the question of speed becoming the enemy of truth, I am aware, or I am sure that most of us in this room knows Edward Barney. Edward Banner is known as the father or the godfather of PR.
Please move the
Edward
slide.
Banner was the one that gifted the industry what I call the engineering of consent. The engineering of consent. The engineering of consent simply is a concept that says that public opinion can be shaped. It's not a force of nature. It is an environment that can be systematically shaped by consistent messaging. And this was what Edward Banner advocated. And this was as far back as 1943. So we have three eras. The first era was between 1920 to 1990, when Edward Banner came with the engineering of consent that shaped communication in that era, leading to the year 2000, when the rise of digital media, social media, fragmented media, bettered engineering of attention. Under the engineering of attention, it is a world of infinite content where PR agencies, PR professionals, anybody that wants to shape opinion is seeking to command attention. And this was basically driven by digital media and social media. And this also bettered the rise of the algorithms. Then, between that time to 2024, or I dare say 2026, because that was when it was actually birthed, there was a gap. In the age of AI, it is no longer about engineering of consent. It is no longer about the engineering of attention, because, I mean, we also have the disruption of media consumption. So how media is consumed today is totally changed. So with the rise of artificial intelligence, with the rise of agentic AI, with the rise of content engineering, because we are not even talking about prompt engineering anymore, there is now a need that trust must be engineered at two levels simultaneously, in order for us to say that as far as speed, becoming the enemy of truth, is concerned, that we are in control. We cannot be in control if we do not engineer trust. One, generative AI is changing everything. Two, audiences must gain or earn our trust, the AI system and the human in question. Context engineering has become a discipline on its own. No more prompt engineering as far as PR and communication is concerned. I'm going to break this down. Authenticity of the operating system in terms of synthesis, in terms of real data set that is analyzed, in terms of insight that is provided, has become an asset for PR agencies today. Trust becomes the input and the output. But let's go further. The two audiences that we say we have, that we PR agencies must address. And this is why the AI era demands a new theory of communications. The first audience is what I call the AI systems. So when a communication professional structures a prompt, uploads a knowledge base, or uses a retrieval augmented generation system, it configures an AI agent just like I did for that dashboard that you saw a few minutes ago, or it designs a governance framework. They are engineering the context from which the AI will reason and produce output. In other words, it's not about garbage in and garbage out. The quality of that context determines the quality of the output. Therefore, if as a PR professional, as a communication professional, you are still riding on the back of prompt engineering, then you are still operating in the 2020s. You should be operating on the feather of what? Context engineering. Predicts that context engineering will define enterprise AI practice by 2026. This year, it is already happening. It is already the most important skill a communication professional can develop this year, not next year. Trust must be engineered in this AI system level. But beyond the AI system level, we cannot be talking about ethical governance. We cannot be talking about AI policy governance. Policy remains a policy. Without an infrastructure, then it remains just a mere policy. So the journalist who reads the press release, the board member who reviews the executive summary from your media analysis or media intelligence, the public who encounters your messaging, whether through an AI agent or an AI chatbot, the regulator who assesses the crisis response must engineer and believe in that you are enabled. So this audience does not care how the output was produced. No. The audience care if they can trust the output you have made available. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is trust engineering. Every AI-assisted output carries an implicit trust claim. Implicit trust claim. The communicator who cannot stand behind every word that AI helped produce has built the next crisis, not solved it. And that is why I have over the years advocated that, look, done as PR professionals, if we must be ethical, then we must leave behind us what I call the black box AI concept. Whatever you produce that you cannot explain, that you cannot defend, that you cannot provide evidence, falls under these two errors that have gone. If either of it fails, the entire system also fails. So I say this, and we begin to see exactly how we as professionals can engineer trust in this era, and how we can stay on top of our game, irrespective of the timeliness of crisis, irrespective of the power of the algorithms, and irrespective of how synthetic media shapes narratives today. But let's know this, and we know peace. The intelligence that could have changed the outcome in all of the cases we have mentioned was already visible in the data. Next slide. I'm talking about next slide. Was already visible in data. In every case that we talked about, from the UBA fire to the divorce claim to Awosika Ibukun to the ghost stakeholder and all that, in every of this case, are you there? Please, can you go to the next slide? Thank you. In every of this case, let's note this, because we are in an era that you and I, seriously, you and I must be intentional in observing signals. In every of this case that we have mentioned, the one that happened 48 hours ago, the one that happened 7 days ago, in all of these cases, the signal existed. The patterns detectable. The narrative trajectories were readable. What did not exist, however, is an intelligence infrastructure designed to read them. And that was why when I heard about the topic, when speed is the enemy of truth. Speed will always be the enemy of truth if the signal that exists are not observed, are not controlled, and are not engineered. The crisis architecture designed to act on that intelligence within the response window. Remember, we already have what I call an asymmetric speed problem. The response window has now shrinked to even the 0 minute. The golden hour of yesterday is already gone. But today, I want to see how we can, within the time frame that we have, fix both of these issues simultaneously. The first one is what I call the crisis architecture. Using my TABSDIF already been implemented in some PR agencies here in Nigeria. This is more like a response protocol. And we are going to see how the verified protocol works in engineering the crisis architecture. But beyond the crisis architecture, we also have the intelligence infrastructure powered by cloud projects. And for everyone in this room, if you really want to take something tangible back to your war rooms, then one AI tool you must have is Claude.ai. Because we are going to be using Claude.ai, we are going to create projects on Claude.ai. You are going to use newsapi.org. I don't know if you are noting this down. I hope I'm not running too fast because I'm looking at the time and we have a lot to do. But AI, I don't work in Claude, but I have seen Claude. I have seen Claude, with the intelligence capacity. Claude has totally redefined everything we know about media intelligence, as you are going to see. So you need Claude. With Claude, Claude has what we call connectors. I'm going to show you all the things. Connectors allows you to do what? To plug in newsapi.org key. And what does newsapi.org does? I mean, let me just break it down. With News API plugged into your cloud, that means that you can gather, curate, aggregate, and monitor every conversation of your brand or your competitor's brand in real time. In real time. So the first thing you are going to do for me is just note this down. One, we are going to need Claude.ai to do our answer. Two, you are going to need newsapi.org, and I will tell you exactly what to do. Just write it down, just in case I don't come back to this. Three, you are going to need firecrawl.dev, and let me tell you what firecrawl.dev simply does. Firecrawl is this AI systems that crawls the internet, not just the internet. It crawls the social media space. It also crawls the dark social. Remember that dark social is meant to be encrypted end to end. Today, I am also excited to announce to us that Firecrawl also crawls and transcribes every radio broadcast and every TV broadcast as long as they have an IP address. So just imagine what is possible. Imagine what is possible. So for you to ensure that speed is not the enemy of truth, all these are needed. Now, a combination of cloud projects, News API, and Firecrawl gives you a live dashboard. Veronica, I don't know if in what I sent to you, there is an HTML file and a prompt that everyone in this room willing to participate in the hands-on should have. So if you can send, I don't know how you want to send that to them, but those two files are needed, because with cloud projects, News API, Firecrawl, we are going to have a live dashboard that we can begin to use to monitor crisis in real time, respond to crisis in real time without losing our sleep.
Veronica, I think you will share it maybe in the inbox here.
Okay, so we have we are going to quickly run through. We have talked about the prediction machine. We have looked at the 5 crises, the 5 lessons, and the 1 critical question. We have looked at the 3 eras of PR, from the engineering of consent to the engineering of attention, and now the engineering of trust. But let us also look at the reputation stack. The reputation stack, the crisis landscape. and how we can now use it as a basis to build our intelligence engine that we can use as professionals to manage speed in times of crisis. Sorry, can you move on to the next slide? Thank you. Now, for you to understand, remember that we have two case studies about one for UBA, one for Elubelu. This is the Elubelu divorce rumor.
Doctor, just a minute.
But I think
Dr. Celestin.
they did something right. Yes.
Yeah, someone from in the inbox is asking, are the softwares that you mentioned open source or paid for?
Fortunately, for newsapi.org, as long as it's meant just for your brand, it's free, which means that you can pull as much as 3,000 mentions in a month. But if you are doing more than 3,000 mentions in a month, definitely you have to pay. Newsapi.org. For firecrawl.dev, it also has a free version, but it's all about volumes. Once you exceed about 3,000 crowd content, definitely you need to pay or wait till the next month. Okay. For Claude, of course, we know Claude. If you are serious about crisis management, when speed is required and managing it professionally, then you have to pay for Claude. Claude is just $20, and I think it's worth that investment. When you see what we are going to do with Claude, it's worth that investment. And I'm also going to show you how you can come at a where I know some of us are still using Google Alert. It's okay. I know some of us are using TalkWalker Alert. It's okay. But are you even aware that even with your Claude, you can schedule all your media monitoring, not just schedule getting mentions. You can further go to say, look, having gathered, aggregated, curated all these mentions, analyze them, provide insight, and include visualization, and send it to me at so hour a day. It's called AI automation. But there's a caveat. The future of our industry is not AI automation. It's actually AI augmentation, because our industry is all about trust. And for you to talk about trust, you need to be involved. So we will always advocate for what I call human in the protocol. But first of all, let's even I don't know if I've been able to answer the question of whoever asked that question.
Yes,
I think I've been
did.
able to answer your question.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, but let's look at this, because these case studies are very important. We can't just wish them away. The Elumelu divorce rumor is what almost every one of us in this room know. It's very recent. Like I said, 3 bloggers have been arrested. This is a case of misinformation. This is a case of algorithm amplification. This is a case of corporate crisis response. But it's also a case of what I call the verify protocol in action, which I'm going to explain. Now, we had UBA response. Look at the UBA response. Remember that this issue spread faster. The algorithm so amplified this issue that, in fact, it was #1 most amplified content on alone. Also, #1 amplified content on social, on platforms like WhatsApp. Within hours, it became a viral content, and UBA responded. What was the response? This is fabricated. This is reckless and without basis, a deliberate falsehood, and that was a tag. And immediately, 3 of these bloggers were immediately arrested. So we had 2 stories trending and gaining striving and struggling for attention. On one case is a customer, which is already going viral. But the arrest of these 3 bloggers seemed to drown even the divorce rumor itself. And summary counter narrative also help to suppress. So when we talk about search remediation in reputation management, as far as AI is concerned, this is where you have counter narrative that seem that to help, suppression of a crisis. Same window, Dangote Group denies separate false claim, all coordinated. Now, why is this in the room? This case we are talking about broke 48 hours before this session. And I'm all sure that we all saw it. Look like at scale. How are you able to monitor not just online news media, not just mainstream media, but you are also monitoring radio, TV, you are monitoring that social at the same time. You are monitoring social media at the same time. How do you achieve that? And this is what the monitoring dashboard from session 1, from what I showed you earlier, that is what the monitoring dashboard is built to detect. Is built to detect in real time, even before the algorithms begin to amplify. If you cannot detect an issue that will go viral before the algorithms amplify it, then there is an issue. And this is what the verified protocol is designed to prevent. For you and your clients, 3 people are in a Nigerian prison cell because they did not verify. The TikTok commentator stayed free because he did his own instinctively. In other words, the fact that most of those on TikTok or most of those bloggers use allegedly does not excuse you from from the law. So this is for those who are probably chasing traffic, sensationalism, while using allegedly in their content to perpetrate, to encourage the algorithms to amplify such content. So, but what is the verified protocol? And that is what I want us to see in the Elimelu case, as we are going to see in the next slide. Are you there? I hope you can follow my speed. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. God bless you. Now, this is what the verified protocol looks like. This is what the verified protocol looks like. Let's use the Elumelu case as a case study. Blogger pages were verified, even though they were semi-anonymous. There was no byline, there was no evidence. They had very low credibility. So the UBA team, for the first time, unlike the UBA fire issue, ensure they did their homework by validating the source. And of course, they find out that this is semi-anonymous, which points to coordinated attack. They saw that there's no byline, there is no evidence, and there is very low credibility. In fact, the pages, the blogger pages, have no single authority. Then they examine, are there any corroborating signals inconsistent with known public behavior and recent joint appearances? So your AI begin to analyze, begin to predict, using what I call predictive analysis. Of course, they found out that there is no evidence corroborating this fact. Then how about the reach? This is critical. Arrow stands for reach. Twitter to WhatsApp. This is critical mass, as we know. WhatsApp penetration alone is what gives uncontrollable speed. Uncontrollable speed. When it gets to TikTok, the algorithms have so much powerful amplification, what will I call it? Power, let me put it that way. It becomes critical because this is happening. Now they need to identify They identified and saw that this is a coordinated attack because simultaneously the first claim about Dangote was hitting up. The pattern suggests coordinated disinformation. Now you are getting the full picture even with the speed required. And this is what your live dashboard will do for you even while you are sleeping. Now, how do you then frame? How do you go about the public correction, the arrest? What is the risk? Naming the bloggers triggered free speech counter narrative. The fact that the UBA team were able to unveil the anonymous team and name the bloggers triggered free speech counter narrative that is a powerful search remediation tool. Then they didn't stop there, they act. They began to monitor secondary narrative. So you do not say only on the primary narrative. They began to monitor secondary narrative. They briefed the ball, the legal strategy went to swoop, and they watch for further attacks. In fact, not watch for further attacks. They began to set up what I call, okay, I don't want to say that, but you know, crawlers can be used, okay, to fight against future or further attacks and ensure they don't escalate. Now, what did they get right? And what did the UBA case study teach? I mean, what does it teach us? And this is what I call the AI assisted question. What did they get right? They went formal. They named the triggers and issued immediately because they've been able to use the incident. Their language was unambiguous, fabricated, reckless, with basis. They escalated to law enforcement, which again triggered a counter narrative. They warned all platforms that, look, this is what will happen if you cannot show evidence of what you are saying. And of course, you know, for the first time, I saw Nigerian influencers, everybody going to their shelf and avoiding further sharing of that platform. And what happened? The algorithms also melted down. But in doing this, they also created what I call secondary risk. And this was talk about risk management. Naming the bloggers publicly created sympathy counter narrative from Sowore and others. Even though they were sympathy counter narrative, they actually helped the algorithm. And they confused the algorithm a bit. Okay. And of course, what went viral began to simmer low. In fact, Sowore's press freedom argument displaced the correction story, in quotes. These are secondary risks that were created. Bloggers' family began to appeal. Now, it was the bloggers' family's video that went viral and overtook the virality of the divorce rumor disinformation. So we have two crises running simultaneously: divorce and blogger arrest. So if the communications team had run 15 minutes of AI assisted game in the war room in cloud before issuing the statement, I'm sure that OSA journalist simulation, from OSA journalist simulation to stakeholder mapping to scenario planning, would it have triggered, I'm asking, would it have triggered the secondary narrative risk of publicly naming the arrested bloggers? The answer is almost certainly yes. Of course, it would have. So while speed is essential in crisis response, structured speed, and that is the takeaway. Structured speed, even if it's 15 minutes, is better. So let me ask this question for all of us in the room before we now go into our hands-on. Is personal judgment a reliable substitute for the verified protocol? Is your personal judgment a reliable substitute for the verified protocol? Remember what I said is verified protocol. I think I took us through it. Was naming the blogger the right call? Please, you can leave your comments on the chat session or raise your hand to make a response. What does the coordinated Dangote claim tell us when it comes to coordinated disinformation? When would a brand health pulse have detected this? These are questions begging for answers. I don't know if you want to answer it, but these are questions begging for answer. Go to the next slide. I mean, when you play each of these videos, this was the chief of defense staff. The next slide, please. The next slide. This was the chief of defense staff in Nigeria. Disinformation. I don't want to. What I call it. What I call it, disinformation. But it's a convergence of all kind of malinformation, misinformation, disinformation, and I can go on and now, if you can do us a favor to play each of these videos, you will see that this is supposedly the chief of defense staff set environment. Now, in fact, I have never seen a story that was so amplified by the algorithms than this particular one. Can you quickly, for the sake of the audience who have not seen this, just quickly play each of the video? Are you there? No, stay on the video. So stay on the slide you are. Yes, just play each of the video. Okay, if they are not playing, don't worry. Let's just go ahead. I wanted them to hear. I wanted them to hear the different scenarios, so they see exactly how these people have been able to clone the CDA's voice, but saying different things in different environment, even though it is.
Anthony, can you try to play them?
This is like the power of engineering of consent.
You exit, then you project again. You play them from there?
Is he playing it or do I play it?
It's not the sound. Sound is off. Doctor, you can project and play it from your side.
Okay.
Doctor, let me share again.
Okay, I should stop. You want to share?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Hello.
It's okay, Doctor. We can watch from your screen.
Okay. You can share. I've stopped.
Anthony, please share.
If Nigerian youth refuse to join the army willingly, we will make it mandatory for everyone from age 18 to join. The 10,000 we recruited last year are nowhere to be found. So we need to act fast before our country will be left exposed to danger. If Nigeria youth to join the army, we will make it compulsory for everyone from the age of 18 and above to join the army. Recruit 24,000 into the military, so both the governors, senators, ministers, House of Assembly members, sons and daughters will also be recruited as well into the military to strengthen the military and fight against insecurities. Thank you. Nigerian youths continue to show low interest in joining the army, we may have no choice
Great.
but
Let's
to
move
make
to the next slide.
age 18 and above.
Next
Nigerian
slide,
youths
please.
join the army, we will make it mandatory for the 10,000 soldiers we recruited last year are nowhere to be found. If Nigeria youth refuse to join army, we will make it mandatory. So it's compulsory.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now, stop there. Now, the two other people that you see on this screen are influencers, are TikTok influencers. And as usual, TikTok influencers, without verifying, rode on this particular narrative that the algorithms are pushing. Let's listen to them. Can you play the first one?
If the youths refuse to join the military,
Hello?
that we are going to make it compulsory for every youth that is up to 18 years to join the military. That is, they are going to force you, as long as you're up to 18 years, to join the military. Now, my question is, I don't have issue with what they are saying, but my question is, why?
The Nigerian army is saying that if the Nigerian youths continue to refuse to join the Nigerian army, that they are going to make it mandatory for every Nigerian who is over the age of 18.
My name is Ibukwa Oshika, and it has become extremely important for me to send out this message. There have been some criminal elements.
Just pause. Now, you saw those two influencers before we came here. You saw those two influencers writing on an obviously disinformation. Those were all deep fake. They were all AI generated clips. I mean, these are clips that from the timestamp that we observed, these were clips that were generated on Gemini.google using VO3. And these were the same content that the algorithms does not care. And that was why I felt so excited when I heard the topic. When speed is the enemy of truth, the algorithms, whether you or I like it or yes, the algorithms are yet to say, and they will continue to amplify whatever excites their audience. And this is Awosika. This was the video of our disclaimer. The video of our disclaimer did not reach more to 400 persons, while the video deepfake itself reached millions. Then, of course, the next one. Let's just forget the next one. I mean, that is a case of Ondo State that is not central to what we are doing today. But let's move on to the next slide and see what we need to do, and we move on to the hands-on. Now, let's note this. Reputation is no longer just what people say about you or I, or about your client, or about your brand, or about your nation. No. Reputation, it is what the algorithms amplify. It is what artificial intelligence generates. And more importantly, it is what your strategy, it is what your AI strategy, your crisis strategy, your crisis response strategy either anticipates or reacts to. Remember, we have said that the asymmetric speed has destroyed everything about reactive PR. So reputation is no longer just what people say about you. It is now what the algorithms amplify. It is now what AI generates. And it is what your strategy either anticipates or reacts to. The question, therefore, is not whether AI will shape reputation management. I think that question should not even be asked. The question is whether you and I will lead that change or be changed by the power of the algorithms. And therefore, irrespective of what you decide, you need to know that the reputation stack has changed. And I hereby present to you the new reputation stack that we are dealing with in this AI era. The first layer, most PR practitioners manage one of these three layers. But unfortunately, you cannot choose any. In this AI era, you must command these three layers. These three layers are the layers that now control reputation. And this is what I call the reputation stack. The first one is the human layer. The human layer, this is what most of us in the room know. This is what most of us in the room have dealt with over the years and dealt with it professionally well. From traditional stakeholder perception to earned media to spokesperson credibility to community trust promotion. This is where most of us live and where only 40% of reputation now originates. In other words, as far as the reputation landscape is concerned, the human layer today only controls 40%. And this is where we all, or most people are. But we have layer 2. This is something you must learn whether you like it or yes. We call it the algorithmic layer. Algorithmic layer talks about the search engine ranking, the social media visibility, how the algorithms are amplifying content, how algorithms amplify disinformation, deepfakes. Today, we don't talk about search engine optimization. No, we talk about answer engine optimization. And that is why when you search for Google, Google used to be what we call the reputation engine. But with the rise of AI, that has totally changed. I cannot call Google a reputation engine anymore. And that is why when you do your search, the first thing you see are AI snippets, AI overview summaries of the issue in question. Contents are indexed, aggregated from the different large language models, from Grok to ChatGPT to Claude to Gemini to Perplexity, and the list goes on and on. So algorithms today now decide what stakeholders, what your clients, what your brands see before they even reach your message. In other words, your audience, whether they are Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, or millennials, and what have you, they see, first of all, what the algorithms decide to amplify and not the content you decide to push. So you must learn this. You must learn how to control the algorithms. You must learn how to manipulate the algorithms for exactly what you want to achieve. But the third layer is the most dangerous layer for reputation management. And I call it the synthetic layer. This is what you and I must defend against. I have shown you several clips of the military. I have shown you that of Awosika. I have shown you the coordinated defense, the coordinated attack, combining the AI-generated content will always be amplified. From deepfake media to bot-driven narratives, to manufactured consensus. So you see an event has happened. Meanwhile, the event never existed. The layer creates reputation events that never actually happened. But guess what? They produce real consequences. So when you are fighting with synthetic layer, when you are defending against synthetic layer that needs to be managed and controlled within the available speed time, what do you do? That remains a question that we believe that the hands-on we are trying to do will or should be able to solve. And that brings us to the speed asymmetry problem. In 2015, crisis event occurs within the hours of 1 and 3. Traditional media probably picks it up by the third to 6th hour. And social media only gets to amplify by the 6th to 12th hour. Then PR teams begin to gather to say, okay, how do we respond to this? Of course, within the window of 12 to 24 hours. Okay, then stakeholder communication begins the next day. But it's not so. That asymmetry, that speed asymmetry has since changed since 2025. In fact, it has gotten worse in 2026. The response window is minute 0. In other words, crisis event occurs in minute 0, as we have seen in all the cases we have mentioned. Awosika was basically asleep when it happened. The chief of defense staff was probably doing was probably facing security issues when that went viral. Elubelu may probably be in a business meeting when the disinformation about divorce went viral. It can happen to anybody. The CEO of of MoneyPoint was probably trying to analyze the issue with Nigerian youths, but that also affected his brand with 500 of Gen Zs closing their accounts within 24 hours.
In short, Dr. Celestine, what you're saying is that we are all candidates of these deepfakes, either organizations or our individuals. So that said, we have a few minutes, so I mean, I'll give you more 10 minutes, then we dive into Q&A sessions.
Thank you. So I'll just protect. Thank you. So in conclusion, reactive PR is structurally broken. So only AI augmented monitoring and pre-crisis intelligence can close this gap, and that is the answer. And that's basically probably what I want to show us. So I will just use the remaining 10 minutes to show us how this can be done. Veronica, because we have 10 minutes, can you quickly confirm that they all have that? They all have the HTML. Okay, so let me just go there. Let me just quickly show us. Please, you can stop sharing so I can just quickly do the hands-on.
Anthony, stop sharing so that doctor shows us hands-on.
Thank you. Okay.
Verify. I think learning is taking place, doctor. I like the fact that Dr. Monyi is here. I think he's still here. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Monyi, for keeping with us.
So here I go. So I'm sharing my screen.
Nice. Yes, Dr. Celestine, go ahead.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah. It is coming.
So this is what I call the PRU intelligence intelligence dashboard. The PRU intelligence dashboard built with Claude. Built with Claude, meaning that as long as you have Claude and you tell Claude, build me a PRU intelligence platform, I mean, you have this dashboard to yourself. I will show you exactly, if there is time, how to create a Claude skill for media intelligence, how to use plugin and connectors for media intelligence, because that is what was used for this. And the reason I said you should have your news API key is that your API key has to be here, your Firecrawl API key has to be here, your Claude API key has to be here. And this is where you can always interchange the different organization that you are handling. This is where you probably mentioned the keywords that you are using to drive the agent. So from news mentions to engagement to sentiment and emotional analysis to share of voice to reputation analysis, to tonality, to PR impact, especially when we talk about PR attribution, to the leadership factor. Okay, so if I decide to put what keyword will I put here? Let me put UBA. Okay, I put UBA group. I hope I have time to run this because I quickly need to quickly show us exactly if what we'll be doing in the next 10 minutes is just to create plot scales for media intelligence, then I'm fine by it. But since you have this, just note, just follow what I'm doing. You put your organization name anytime you want to run a brand, a brand, you put the brand's name, you put the relevant keywords. So I could put UBA, I could also put Elumelu, but I just separate it with comma. Then I run the days to analyze. So let me choose 14 days. And I click save and run. So it's loading, but because of time, okay, I think it's loading. Let us allow it to load. Once it's finished loading, do the same thing and you get your result almost immediately. But let me now close with this. Let me close with this. I think that becomes my gift to this room.
Thank you, doctor. Doctor, you're off. We can't hear you at the last comments you said. No, honestly, I don't. Veronica, can you hear Dr. Celestine?
Just 5 minutes quickly.
Let's
go to our Claude if you are there.
He's back. I think, Doctor, we had lost you.
Okay.
Let's quickly go to our Claude. Oh, you can hear me? Okay, I said let's go to Claude.ai.
We had lost you.
Claude.ai. Let's go to Claude.ai.
We couldn't hear you for a while.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you, yes. We can hear you.
Hello?
You are saying, Doctor Celestine? Okay, I think we lost Doctor. Veronica, you could reach out to Doctor as we conclude. Please, if you have any questions for Doctor, you can share them through the inbox. We'll be able to have a conversation the next 30 minutes just to make sure that we respond to your questions. But I think this is a very good conversation, especially in the modern industry of practice for PR professionals.
Sorry about that.
Are you back?
I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. So I will just take the number of minutes I have. I hope I can do this fast. Let me just share my Claude. If this is just the second skill that everyone will go up with, then is very fine by me. Confirm you can see my screen.
It is coming. It's loading.
Can you see my screen?
Now we can see it. Very well.
Okay, so if you are on Claude, quickly click on your profile where you have your profile icon. Okay. Once you have clicked on that, can you just okay, or to make it easier for you, click on just expand your sidebar. You will see where you have customize. Click on customize. Click on customize. Then you should be seeing the same interface like I have. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see skills and connectors? Great, great. Now click on create new skills. Create new skills. Now, from what you can see, you are going to see the different skills that I have created, most of them for PR. By the way, my CEO, my COO, and my CMO are AI agents. Yeah, let us create a media intelligence skill. So for you to create a media intelligence skill, click on skills by the right hand side. Then look at this plus sign. Click on the plus sign. It will bring up browse skills and create skills. Can you confirm? You can see that? Browse skills and create skills. If you can see that, just give me a thumbs up so I continue, since we have just about 5 minutes left. God bless you. Now, click on create skill. Create skill will give you another 3 drop down. Great. If you can see that, the easiest way to create a cloud skill, create what I call an AI automated skill, no matter the kind of PR skill that you want to create. So click on create with Claude. When you click on create the Claude, you will see exactly this content. Let's create a skill together using your skill creator skill. First, ask me what the skill should do. Don't change this one short prompt. Just submit it. Ensure you are using the 4.6 model. Please don't use the 4.7 model for anything for now, or else your token is gone. Now it's working, is gathering the cloud skills. Nah, so you say, what a great idea. Let's build something genuinely useful together. So tell me, what should this new skill for? So I am writing this new skill should be for proactive media intelligence and crisis detection across the mainstream, media, social media, online media, and dark social. Then submit. Depending on the skill you want to create, the skill I am creating is a proactive media intelligence and crisis detection skill across the mainstream media, social media, online media, and dark social. I hope you are following me. Sorry if I've taken into the time allotted. Sorry, we are running up now. So excellent. This is right in your wheelhouse with Voice Shield. Then it will ask you some questions. Look at the questions. Who is the primary user of this skill? Who will be invoking it most? So I could say Sihan Digital Academy trainees. What should the skill core output look like? Structured intelligence brief. I want a live dashboard or monitoring report. Now, which dark social channels matter most for your client? WhatsApp groups, Telegram channels, private Facebook. Now, can you see even the number of dark social that Claude skill can capture? That is the power of Claude. Now is working. Is trying to create the skill, praying that it won't ask more questions, but those questions are just to ensure that we are not operating on a black box, that we are operating on a glass box AI, which is what we all should be advocating. Now, good. Clear picture formatting. 3 more quick questions before I draft. Don't worry. After these questions, I'm sure it won't ask us another question. What sector do your trainees most commonly monitor for clients? Okay, government and politics, financial services, FMCG, oil and gas, telecom. Let me be Oliver Twist and probably choose everything. So I've chosen all the sectors that were provided. Note, you can add more sector, but let me just go with this sector for the purpose of this session. Good. I've chosen that. Let's see what it's doing. Okay, what threat level framework should the skill use for crisis detection? Let it use traffic lights. Should the skill now? So you can see that even if you don't have PRO experience, you will not even know how to manage and answer these questions intelligently. Okay, and that is why it's a glass box. So should the skill include guidance on dark social inference? Let's just say no, keep it surface media only. Now it will begin to build. I'm sorry, we're on the last lap. We're on the last lap. We're on the last lap. But this is a skill set that everyone in this room can now go home with. After this session, you can also, when you get home, just try creating more PRO skills. And of course, the skill will be there for you to use. So it becomes test engineering. You are not depending on one prompt engineering or the other, because you have poured out your contest to the knowledge base of Claude. So whenever you come, you just go straight to the classes. It's already detected it. It's already sent it to your email. If time allows us, I will also show us how to schedule report to your email or to your client right from Claude without leaving this environment. Okay, sorry. So he's now writing the full skill. I think while he's doing this, I think I will round up. I mean, by the time we are doing the panel session, I'm sure the skill will be ready. And of course, I can download it and send to Veronica to share with all of us, and we can begin to use it on our cloud. So thank you everyone for listening. God bless us, and let's see where we go from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Celestine. It's a wonderful session that we've had with you. Without a doubt, learning has taken place. In fact, as you said from the beginning, that after here, we'll be able to create our own tools to be able to analyze and be better communicators. And we've picked a number of things from context engineering to trust engineering. So we are better people than we came in. So members, participants, I think there you have it for this session, for this class. We are going to allow questions, one or two, if you want to ask Dr. Celestine in the next, we have only 15 minutes. The next 15 minutes, you could have a chance to ask Doctor. Doctor, thank you once again for your time. Rachel Kalela Muliwaji, is Rachel still here? Rachel, are you there? If you're there, please, Rachel is the Peer Society president of Malawi. I used to be in Malawi, working there for the Malawi Revenue Authority. Rachel, are you online? Muliwaji? She was
No,
here.
unfortunately, her laptop has run out of power, so she's off the meeting.
Oh, Vincent, send my regards to Rachel.
I will, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so any yes,
thanks.
yes,
Hi, Ian.
hi.
Thanks, Vincent and Ian for recognizing me. Tilibwino Kainu. I'm glad to hear that you've been to Malawi.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I can't have my camera on. Just died.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. Okay, so members, you have questions for Doctor. We'll be able to ask them, please. If you have any questions, just raise up your hand. And Doctor, thank you very much once again. We had a very good conversation this evening. There are things that I picked up. I've been writing notes from crisis architecture to intelligence infrastructure. These, I think the cloud projects, fire crawls, and new API is things that we'll use immediately, without a doubt. I hope the PR professionals here have picked some of those key infrastructures that we can use to intelligently contextualize our responses. Because the response time, as Doctor said, the response window is now to 0 minutes. It used to be 24 hours. Before you know it, everything is everywhere. Just by the time you wake up, things are different. It's not the normal time. Things are different now, and we must act differently. So we can't act normal. as PR professionals. So that's why we have such classes so that we learn from each other. I guess there are no questions because I don't see any, unless we had a poll. In the meantime, please run the poll as we get any questions in the inbox, or anyone who wants to ask, you can raise up your hand and we'll be able to. I think the information was overwhelming a bit. People are saying, kindly share the notes, doctor. Yes, doctor will share. We have some questions here. I don't know if you see them. Are we projected? Anthony, please project the polls.
The poll is being projected.
Okay. If you see it on your side, participants, please raise up your hand or give me a thumbs up. It seems it's only you who has it, Anthony. Vincent, you have it? Okay, people, I think. Okay, in the meantime, I think we have someone who has a question. Is it Dorcas? Veronica is saying, please reshare the poll. Okay, so how long was your poll, Anthony? It should be done by now. Anybody with a question? Let me check here. Please share the results if the poll is done. Okay. Dr. Omonyi, did you manage to see the poll?
I can see it. I can see the pool.
Excellent.
Yeah, I can see it.
So you can see what people are saying. Which of these is currently the biggest threat to reputation management in Africa? Majority of us are saying fake news and misinformation.
That's 50%.
50%. And
you know, 2 years ago, the World Economic Forum already stated this. So this is just it's a validation of what was found 2 years ago.
yeah. And Dr. Celestine, would you agree with what members are saying here, or you would agree with the deep fakes? Dr. Celestine?
I hope he's still here.
Yeah, and I think 31% are saying deep fakes. Which audience do PR professionals currently pay more attention to? 81% agree that these are human stakeholders. There are people that are saying both. I think one person there. At what point should an organization publicly respond to viral information? Some are saying immediately. The others are saying, I think we have a tie here. What's your response there, Doctor? After verify confirmation, that's when you respond. Do we still have time to respond with the 0 window, the 0 minute window in the deepfakes?
What I have here is what you had from the beginning. The chain has not changed. What I have on the screen is just which of this is currently the biggest threat to reputation management. That's what I have here. It hasn't changed.
Oh,
I don't know whether other people on the call have different slides.
we had 5 questions.
Yeah, it's only the first question that is still appearing here.
Oh, when you scroll down, you don't see the others?
Let me see whether it's my error. I got you. I got you.
You've got it?
I got you. Yeah. I didn't scroll down.
Yeah. So number 3 is saying, at what point should an organization publicly respond to viral information? And we have a tie there. 50%, sorry, 44% are saying
Without
immediately.
any, I mean, given the lecture that we have just gone through,
Yeah.
the tie has no basis because you shouldn't go out without verifying anyway.
Yes.
So after verifying confirmation, 44%, immediately it trends, 44%. What is trending? On the basis of what is trending, what do you want to respond to? If you have no fact to respond, why should you just respond? Except you want to say, oh, we are just getting to find this out. We are coming back to you shortly, okay? And when you say shortly, you must go back shortly.
Yes.
After verification. So maybe that will be the basis for us to have this time.
Yes. Absolutely. Verify and then respond. But there is what they call a holding statement, is what I think Doctor is saying. Have a holding statement just to make sure you shape the narrative later on. And as you promise, you go back.
Oh, but
how prepared is the organization?
Ian?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's a very good dimension you brought in. A holding statement is available, then that makes sense to go out immediately. And then upon confirmation, you now update your information.
Yes.
I think that makes sense. That makes sense.
Absolutely. How prepared is the organization to identify and respond to deepfake content today? Oh, I'm impressed that I think we're not prepared at all with my organization. There are so many things we picked up from here. I'm impressed that we have over 19% very prepared, and we have moderately prepared 31%, slightly prepared 25%. I think most of us really are not prepared for the deep fakes. AI is on the rise. I don't know how many organizations here, for example, have AI policy within our institutions. Even some of the governments do not have. I don't know if the last time I was in Lagos, you are trying to have an AI policy. Do you have one, Dr. Omani, now?
In Nigeria as a whole, Nigeria's national artificial intelligence strategy is up and running. You could check it online and download and then see how it works. It's been updated regularly, though. You know, I have my critique of it, but I won't say it here.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's important that
but Ian, let me just say this before you continue, for the benefit of our colleagues here. You see, it is the duty of the communication person to champion AI policy use and guidance and regulation in an organization, because it is the duty of the communication person to deal with the consequences of the disruption of artificial intelligence. So you should not wait and make yourself to be retrofitted into a strategy that is constructed by other departments of your agency. No. I think I need to emphasize this, and this principle has been established even by APRA and its partners, including Global Alliance. As a matter of fact, we will get to share, Vero and I will get to share at some point a guide that is already pushed forward by Global Alliance, which is called the Venice Agreement. It's a principle that should guide communication professionals on how to regulate and control AI issues in their organization. Because of the consequences of of what disrupted AI use can cause to reputation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Omoni. I don't know if Dr. Celestine is back, but I think we have run out of time. So on that note, I would like to appreciate all participants that came through. Is Dr. Celestine back? Before we give him a vote of thanks, on behalf of Pierre Fundi Masterclass and APRA, and Dr. Omoni is here, the Secretary General of the African Public Relations Association. Maybe we could give him an opportunity, just give us a closing remarks, then we give vote of thanks to our panelists of this evening.
Do you need me to talk, Ian?
Yeah, just 1 minute, just give us a word or two as we close, because I think Dr. Celestine was not here.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to say what more like reiterating what I had said before. It is important that we commit ourselves to what's evolving, look at AI, and ensure that before we jump into it, we have the infrastructure and see how sectors are connected. How does it deplete the existing resources? I gave the case of Kenya when we started. I mean, that it was wise that the Kenya government have said, oh, we are suspending this because it's going to draw electricity proportionally. So you can't draw electricity from the human needs and take it to AI functioning because it serves other purposes of the sector. Those infrastructure is important. The other thing I want to say is the communication person is the most important person in an organization. I need us to understand, because we know the role communication play, even in the evolution of man, in our socialization, in our cultural learning experience. We should never allow to take a backseat. How do we ensure that we are on the table? We are on the table only if we can own our own space. Let us join conversation like this to get knowledge of what we need to do, so that when we get to the table, we are not mopping. When people realize that you know your job, they will never take you for granted.
Absolutely.
Take charge of the environment, take charge of the communication process. Don't let people come and call you to be managing crisis that you were not part of from the beginning. So in constructing an organizational strategy, communication is foundational. You should tell all your CEOs that this is it. And how do you tell? Because when you are called to come and bring in your input, you're on top of your work.
Absolutely.
Once again, I thank you for being here, and I hope that we'll continue to learn from each other. Thank you so much, Ian. I speak on behalf of the EXCO of APRA. I've been doing meeting back with the president and the vice president, and so I've given them feedback that this has been wonderful, and I want to thank you exceedingly, honestly, particularly for those who have been there from the beginning and they stayed till this time. Certainly, we have something to glean, and we look forward again to next month's edition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Omoni. Your profound insights continue to inspire us across Africa. Thank you for your leadership and your committee at APRA that you're doing to shape different narratives, but also to empower us as communicators in Africa. We greatly appreciate you, Dr. Omoni, and the team for being here for these classes, but also for continuously supporting the Pierre Fundi Masterclasses. And on behalf of Fundi Masterclass, I appreciate you participants for always tuning in. We have our monthly classes every second Thursday of we have Pierre Fundi Masterclass. Dr. Celestine is back. So on behalf of Node Group, PR Marketing Agency, we appreciate you, Dr. Celestine.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Your presence here and your sharing wisdom with us continues to strengthen the PR profession, without a doubt. And we appreciate you for allowing to come on board. And I see members are asking for a second round. Maybe we'll reach out to Veronica and we plan to have a second round of session, which is more practical.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Doctor.
Thank you so much
for making this masterclasses.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Omoni.
Yeah, thank you very much. We look forward to the next engagement. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Bye.